What is up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Pushing Buttons. This is episode 40. 40. I don't know how to say 40 in any other language, so that's it. That's all you get. You get the broken down 4, and you get the 0. You get it in Spanish, and you get it in English. This is episode 40. I am one half of the Bromance B, and I am joined by my lovely, lovely co-hosts. To my left, I have the very popular melanin glowing, microphone toting, skin glowing, the second most beautiful man on planet Earth, right after my pappy, Keith.
What's going on, B? I'm Claudia.
Hey, pals. And then all the way to the end of this couch, we have the very popular, very Instagrammable, Miss IG her damn self, Claudia.
What's going on?
What's up, Claudia? And yeah, this is the Pushing Buttons podcast, I guess. It's just us again. We don't have a guest every week, assholes.
They've been telling you it's too many.
Nah, but I think people like when we have guests.
Yeah.
You know, your friends get to see you, and you know, you got their friends watching you, and then people like. I think those are the most popular episodes we do are the ones with people in them.
They don't want to see it.
Or if we're talking sex,
Yep.
Why is that a big one?
because people like sex apparently. Animals. So before we go around the room and see how everybody is doing, I do want to say that we are on all streaming platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and we are on Anchor for your ass. We're on YouTube, so go subscribe.
I'm not doing it this time, man. Look, wait it for me.
We would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe. Their subscribers are going up.
I didn't even think about it until you just did that.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it. Or I didn't think I knew I was doing the whole hand thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I intentionally knew that I was doing it.
Really?
You use your hands a lot.
I do use my hands a lot when I'm talking. And I do say soap a lot too. So before we go around the room, let's go around the room and see how everybody's doing, man. We did the whole fucking thing already. Keith, man, how you be?
I'm good. I'm all right. I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Week was okay.
You feel good? Yeah.
It's fine. Oh, I get the vaccine next week.
Hey, and then we'll all be vaccinated. That's good.
Are you happy?
I'm happy for you, man.
Okay, cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Isn't there a Drake song called Congratulations?
Oh, that was on so far gone, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Claudia, how you be?
I'm great. Life is good.
Vacation. Came
Yeah.
on vacation.
Right?
It was a nice little getaway. It was good.
You got money. This is true. Bougie rankings. You've moved up. You are number 2 now.
No, number 1.
Keith. Oh, number 1. Yeah. Keith has dropped down to
No,
number
I'm
2.
number 3.
I'm still number 4.
Oh, let me tell you. So, Restaurant Week's supposed to go through April 4th, which is Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me why mostly all restaurants didn't honor it on the 4th. They said since it was Easter. We ended it a day
really?
early.
Dang. So you
like,
went?
yeah.
You went, didn't you?
Well, my girl took me. She wanted to go out. She wanted to take me. And they didn't have it anymore. But we still ate what they had, but
That's how you know.
But they said
that's how
since it
you
was
know you got
Easter.
money, because for anybody who doesn't know, it's reduced prices when you go for restaurant week. And Keith was like, "Fuck that shit. I still got the money. I'm still gonna eat."
No,
there.
I didn't pay. She did. She
Oh,
wanted to
damn.
go.
Oh,
She wanted to go
Wow.
out. She wanted to take me out.
Wow, you're a sugar baby. You're a sugar baby. Would you guys do that? Would you be a sugar baby?
Uh,
We know what a sugar baby is, right?
yes. No, explain.
No, sugar baby is you got a sugar mama. So that means that, somebody takes care of you and
now you give
buys
her
things.
what?
And
What do I give her?
Whatever. It might be company. It might be sex. It might be
Emotional support.
emotional support. It might be, a couple fingers. It could be a tongue. It could be a plethora of things, right? You don't necessarily have to be physically intimate. You can cuddle with this person. You can spork. You can spoon. You can fork. Whatever you choose to do, right? Would you guys be able to do that? Would you guys be able to sugar baby? If somebody offered to, obviously we're all in relationships now, but if we weren't and somebody offered it to you, would you do it?
This person is older, no?
Right. Like
It
they're
doesn't have to be older.
It could just be.
It could be somebody who got money.
Yeah, just got money.
Yeah, just got money. They want to spend it on somebody.
Wait, now that you said that, actually, this is the funniest thing. On Instagram, I got a friend request from some lady saying that she was, I don't know if you guys have received that, but they will send people friend requests and be like, oh, I'm a sugar mama or a sugar daddy, and I'm willing to pay for this and this and this, and you don't have to do anything. You guys haven't received, because this is like the second time I received that. And
is it on your personal?
Yeah, and other people have received it as well. And I'm just like, but usually they target women. I haven't really heard any of my guy friends or any guys that I know saying that they had that friend request sent to them.
Maybe it's a guy.
I just thought
Maybe
it was
it's a
funny.
guy sending them.
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably.
But maybe he likes the girls.
Would I be able to do it? I don't know. Maybe. You want a yes or no, right?
Yeah. Make it fun, man. Come on. I'd do this.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll try it.
Why
See what
not?
it
I
looks
mean,
like.
it's money.
See what it's like.
Right. And then be like, no.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, if you had money, would you spend for a sugar?
Hell yeah. I actually would be doing wild shit if I had
Oh my
money.
God.
If I had money, I'd be doing stupid wild shit
No
for sure.
hesitation from him.
So you'd pay someone to.
Do whatever.
Perform with you. And just hang out with you.
Yeah. 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 For some company, switch it up a bit, get different sugar babies. If I had money, but I don't, so my bank account can only give me so far,
Oh,
then after that, it's either you gotta be in a committed relationship or not. That'd be dope. There's a whole community of that out there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like dudes who like
Isn't that illegal?
No. Unless you're doing it with
That's
minors.
Yeah, unless you're
But-
doing it with children. Yeah, but if like you're a grown consenting adult,
Yeah.
But what's the difference in that and like prostitution? I don't get it.
there isn't.
So why
Double standard.
So why
Double-
do I'm
Double standards.
confused.
Double standards. See, because most of the time I think it's a sugar daddy doing it to a sugar baby that's a woman. Most of the time, I would say.
So I'm confused as how one is prostitution and one is
Double standards.
Okay.
Double standards.
Okay.
One is guys, one is girls. Remember, I sent you guys that clip of that guy saying that. Remember, I sent it to you too. You didn't know if you responded. You did though.
To what?
And then you're like, he has a point. The guy that was talking about like, what was it? His issue with women.
Saying that like he had to settle for whatever came to him or something like that. Like women have a choice.
Women have the power, yeah, and the choice, and men don't. Yeah, that's what he was saying. To
What
like
do men
choose,
don't- what
like
men
to
don't-
choose like partners and
partners?
stuff, and yeah. I think it had to do something with cheating, right? Something like that.
I think he was just talking about in general.
Mm.
Whereas
He
like,
did another one. I didn't send it to you guys, but that one was a little bit more extreme, so I didn't want to freak you guys out. I don't know how far I could push the envelope with some folks, but it was an interesting one. It was another one about women and men, and statistics and shit.
yeah, I saw him after you sent that to me. I actually saw that video on TikTok. Like he's all over TikTok.
I do feel like women have more of the power, though.
Really, you think more men settle than a woman?
Yeah,
Really?
I think.
Why do you think
I
that
think
is?
more women have the power. I just don't think more. I don't think enough women know they have the power,
Nah, I think they know they got the power.
or maybe they do. I don't know. I'm not a woman. Claudia, do you know you have the power?
Yeah, Claudia, do you have the power?
Well, yeah. I mean, if I don't want to be with you, I'm not gonna be with you.
Right. See what I'm saying?
But then men too, though. If you don't want to be with somebody, you don't have to be with somebody.
Yeah, but I feel like there's more. I don't know, man. I feel like women have more power for some reason in the relationship, right? I think like if you're going out with somebody and shit, like the guy has, like if you go out on a date with a girl, right?
Okay.
In a straight relationship, whatever, right? And you go out with a girl, and you guys are liking each other, right? I don't think the guy makes the decision of if there's gonna be a second date or not. Like the girl was the one that has the final say in there.
Really?
I don't think so. There are plenty of guys who will just like, nah.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't think so. I've seen it from both sides, and there are plenty of men who are just like, nah, not feeling it, and they kind of just ghost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
and
men
girls
are more like
and
the
women
ghost?
do the same thing.
I don't know. I think it hurts guys more than it hurts women to do stuff like that. I think there's I think the likelihood of a guy saying, "Hey, like I'm not digging you, see ya," and then them leaving and coming back is more likely than a woman saying, "Hey, see ya," and that's it.
Oh, okay. I get what you come.
You get what I'm saying? Like that's it. When a woman says that's it,
That's it.
that's it, buddy. I feel that way. Like I feel that way. I don't think the guy so much has a sense where it's like, oh, yeah. I just don't think. Sometimes I think women think they don't have the power, but they do. I don't know.
I wouldn't necessarily agree 100%, just because for men, for men it's easy to ghost. I've seen a few of guy friends that I have that are just like, whatever, just ghosting you, like I'm moving on.
And then they still have to go back to a woman, is what I'm saying.
Well,
you get what I'm saying? Like they still have to,
women.
like they still have to run back to whoever they are into, right? They still have to go back. Like in this scenario is men to women, right? Mm-hmm. I think at the end of the day they would still have to go back to a woman, right? And some woman eventually they're gonna have to settle down, and the one woman's gonna have to make the decision, like, okay, I want you around, right? Like at some point,
but that's
like
a mutual thing. Like, you can't just be like, let me go with you. Oh, you want me around? Okay, but I don't really want you. You know, like it has to be.
I think
mutual.
they do. I think women settle more often than men, but they have the power. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, so women settle, but they have power.
Yeah, like they more often than not settle
for a guy.
Yeah.
So then it's not the guy settling. Then the guy then
got chosen. That's how I feel.
So you think we just get picked?
Yeah, I think you just get picked. I don't think we have, like I say, I think we get picked.
You don't think we have too much of us?
Even though the guy's like, yeah, I ghosted this many chicks, fuck all these women, blah, 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 blah. Like you still have to, at the end of the day, if you want to be with somebody, you have to go back to a woman is what I'm saying. And then she has to want to keep you around.
Well, but I think that's with anyone in general.
Like with people?
Yeah, like if you want to be in a relationship with people, it's kind of like, for instance, let's say I'm just dating, right? And I'm dating like two people and I'm just getting to know them, whatever. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I'm going to have to choose, okay, I'm not really feeling this connection. I'm feeling this. Like, I don't think it's I'm choosing, I don't know. Like, yeah, you're choosing the person, but the person also has to choose you. You have to realize how the connection is built.
But do they choose you? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. This is strictly for straight men and women. God, strictly for straight men and women. Not a gay relationship. Not a, like none of that. It's just, this is strictly to the women and men.
Okay, so then you guys that are in
I got picked.
Heterosexual relationships.
I got picked.
So then you just, like, I'm not understanding what you're, so then you kind of just stayed there?
No, obviously
that's what you're saying.
But I'm saying, but then you accept, right? You accept to be around. Like, yes, you accept to be around. But what I'm saying is, ultimately, to me, the decision can't. Okay, Keith, who pursued who in the relationship? You have to ask the woman. You have to be like, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? She doesn't ask you, do you want to be my boyfriend?
He's right. They don't really.
Like 9 times, I get there's anomalies. I get that. There's anomalies in everything. But
I see what he's saying.
The guy, 9 times out of 10, asks the girl.
Girl to be the.
Well, yeah, and that's what society has made it out to be too. Like the guy has to ask.
Right, because the woman has the power to do so. Like they're the ones that, at the end of the day, I can like you as much as I want as a guy. That doesn't mean you're gonna stick around with me.
Yeah, and a
But
woman
a
can
girl
like
like
you
a
just
guy,
as much
but
as a guy. Doesn't mean he has to stick around either.
Right, but that's an anomaly, is what I'm saying. The like
She don't think that.
like it's a 9 out of 10. Like
I'm
you,
just- maybe-
like
I'm
because
just
just because you know like 5 guys that do that like doesn't mean that there's
Well, we gotta hear from Claudia's perspective.
right. But she's a woman, so I mean she's telling me she doesn't. Then I don't know. But that's my point, right? Like I don't think women know that they have the power, in a sense, is what
Like
I'm
I
trying to say.
see what you're saying.
It
but I
doesn't
don't.
work for you because you're not in a
Right? Yeah. I'm
straight
just like-
relationship, right? You're in.
Well,
and for me, when I have I have pursued in men where I'm like, oh, I like you, so I want you, and that's it. I want you, and then I'll end it when I'm done.
See what I mean, though.
But because it was all just casual.
Doesn't matter, but you ended it, is what I'm saying. You
my
took the initiative
God.
to end it. You just said
the
it.
guy ever ended it with you first?
Yeah. Like it's just kind of like, listen, I like for
How often
when
has
it's
that happened? Is my question. Not that often.
twice.
How many times have you done it? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
So
But
more
then-
often than
but
not,
the
you have to
man-
choose one or the other.
Right.
Well, yeah, but mainly because
She's saying everything I'm saying.
but because I don't like. To me, the thing is that men also end things.
I get that. I completely understand
Like
that.
if I were to go up to somebody who's not into me, they could simply be like, "No."
I'm not into you. Right. I agree. But what I'm saying is he's still gonna have to go talk to another girl that's gonna have to ask at some point to be with her. And she's gonna have to make the decision.
And another girl and a woman is gonna have to go through the process of getting to know another man.
But you just told me that you have the power.
I never said I had the power.
You were like,
I'm
I end it. Like I'm the one ending it because I
just
said
how
so.
you guys are capable of just ending it.
Yeah, but it's not at the rate is what I'm saying. Like
You think it's a lot less looking good.
So you're
Yeah.
saying that like men end relationships less than women just end it more?
like they just have the power to do so more.
End the relationship.
Yeah, do so more is what I'm saying.
She's like, all right, man.
Okay.
She does. Like it's just I don't know why, but that's what it is. I don't know if it's a societal thing. I'm just asking. I'm not even. I don't know if this is proven fact. I'm observing and I'm looking, and it seems like more often than
More often than not, men pursue women than women pursue men.
exactly. I think that's more often than not. I don't think it's the other way around as often.
No, I agree with that. Like I agree with the fact that
And
men,
niggas like, oh yeah, like look at this girl chasing me, you know.
like I agree that men do pursue women because that's what they're supposed to do, right? Because then if a woman is pursuing a man, she's gonna be seen as like, oh, you thirsty, you know? Like a lot of times that's what people.
But it comes
tend
off as
to-
thirsty for guys
For
too.
guys too, yeah.
But for some reason, for a woman, it's just like, you know, don't pursue. And for me, I'm just like, if you like him, go for it. He'll let you know. You're
Yep.
gonna find out eventually. Like I guess I've never really looked at it. Like if I like somebody, I'm gonna pursue you. I don't care. Like if you say no, okay, no, I move on. You know, like what am I gonna do? But I guess not everyone. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Most of the time, I feel like when a woman tells you that it's over for sure.
Nah,
like-
but some women go back.
That's true.
Some there's that
Again, not having the power, right? Like not knowing you have the power.
back and forth game.
Like not knowing that you have the power to do so, right? I don't know. Whatever. We'll move on. We'll move on. Who has the power? Probably gonna have to bleep that out. So we're gonna move on to the next topic, please. This has more to do with gender and sex, right? So it's a gender and sex topic. By the way, this is fire sponsorship. This is
Claudia's mom.
homemade by Mama.
wish I had
So
like a
strawberry banana.
down every time to get mine.
It's for the YouTube and listeners who are just listening to the audio. I am pointing at a little mason jar with a strawberry banana shake in it. It's delicious, and that's why I'm burping, and because I'm full. So we're gonna move on, right? We're gonna move on to this sex and gender thing, right? That Keith lined up for us today, which was kind of an interesting topic in a sense. We talked about this the other day, right? With like gender neutral bathrooms, and
yeah.
so I guess we kind of paved the way for this episode. And so I guess some of the questions that revolve around this topic, right, is I guess we were seeing folks not gender their kids when they're born nowadays, right?
Yeah, they don't like to.
Whether they got a penis or a vagina,
They like to hide that.
they like to just be like, well, they're gonna. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about like letting a kid? Will we let our kids do that? I guess we should start there. Let's ride the line again. Do we allow our kids to choose their gender, or do we choose it for them? I guess that's the basics of this question, right? This is where the topic is going.
Well, let's define gender and sex.
They're the same thing.
Claudia said no. Claudia, explain.
Damn.
Oh, you want me to tell?
No, it's fine. Based on
Is that funny the way I said it?
yeah, a
It's
little
very aggressive. It's very toxic masculinity. Your masculinity was showing, Keith.
It showed, man. It's cool. It's cool.
It's cool. You were mansplaining.
So I didn't do a good job. Huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Claudia. We keep cutting her off. They're going to be like, I see that. Don't let her talk. Because that's also a trait, apparently.
Is it? Okay.
You're
Go
done?
ahead, Claudia.
Done. Okay. So, what did I say? Sex is what the person is born with. So basically, their biological genitalia and like, yeah, just
So two
biology.
possibilities.
Just biology. And then gender is what you choose to identify as, which is where like the pronouns come in.
Look, BC.
Wait, what? What's the definition, Keith?
No, I do. I got you.
Read
So
the...
sex is either cisgender,
So sex is male or female, right?
right? So like
I
a
like that.
cisgender
Male and a
cisgendered
cisgendered female.
and then
You want gender? Gender is more complex. It's a social or legal status and set expectations from society, like behaviors, characteristics, and thoughts.
Oh, okay. So it is different then.
Yeah.
so
By
I
definition.
tell you, by definition,
All
it's
right.
different.
All right. So it is different by definition. By definition, it's different. Cool. So how do we feel about that?
I don't know.
Do we still not like? Are they doing like choosing? Is that called non-binary? Is that a different thing? Man, we're not an educational podcast. Please do not put us on anything.
I
and
think
shame us.
non-binary is people that don't fall under, like they don't want to be labeled either or, right?
Oh, okay. So that's either or. Okay.
Right.
All right.
I could be. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So then, are we allowed to choose the gender of our kids? I guess that's the question, right?
No, we're not allowed to choose a gender. Why? No.
We're not.
Gender is what you come up to be, like how you're raised. Kind of, right? Because that's what it's like a choosing to be. It's not something that you're.
So Keith, if your child is a cisgendered male, right, and they choose to play with dolls and do dollhouse things and blah 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 blah, are you stopping them from doing it so? Or are you letting it happen? Because you're telling me you just let them do what they want and they'll figure it out.
I'm not necessarily stopping them from doing what makes them happy. No, I would say no, because I wouldn't. It's what they want to do. I wouldn't necessarily like buy them dolls to like play with, but if that's something that they gradually like.
Yeah. What if they go into the store and they go into like the girl section? They're like, oh, I want
quote
this
unquote the girls section.
Right. Like I want this Barbie.
Don't roll your eyes, Claudia. They can still see you.
No, if that's something that they happen to get into, but that's not something like how would they know that that's girl or boy?
Right. They don't. Kids don't know the difference. I feel like a lot of times a toy is a toy for them.
That's true. I feel like growing up, I think I play with like it was like a mixture of toys with my sister's toys and my toys. You know, and we were able to like kind of intertwine both of them. They didn't stop us from doing it. Like my parents didn't stop us from playing you know.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, that's for girls, you know. Like, obviously, certain things, right, were said was just the way things were back then, right? So, see, things were said like if you did like stuff like that, and they did want to point out one thing was a girl, one thing was for boys. But when it came to that, for some reason, they never said anything. So, like, I was like, she had a dollhouse, and she had all her little dolls, and then I had all my toys like Batman, Supermans, and Power Rangers, and Lion Kings, and dinosaurs, and they were intertwined with her toys, and we would play like house or something, right? And so that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know why I could see why people find it like to have an issue with it. I could see why.
Why would they have an issue? How can you see?
Because I think that a lot of people are under the belief that kids don't know what they want.
So they have to choose for them?
Yeah.
What age do kids can choose for themselves?
I would know. Like, to me, honestly, if I had a kid, like, I would be like, you know,
whatever makes you happy.
Like, whatever you fucking want to play with, I guess, you know, play with whatever you want to play with. Like, and then again, there's that thing, right, where people think that you're confusing your child.
Right, yeah.
Right? So there is not me, YouTube and Spotify and Google and Apple and all this, not me, just in general, the consensus would be, that would be the rebuttal to stuff like that, right? Would be, well, you're confusing somebody.
If you let them play with both?
In a sense, or just letting them play with something because they'll feel like there is just a phase or something that they like to do, and it's not necessarily who they are. And then you push it on them, and then obviously somebody's like, oh, because that also does happen, right? Where you push something on somebody, they like dolls, also he must be gay, or he must be this, or he must be that, right? And then so you just continue to do it, and then that person grows up, and then they're like, I don't think I like this, or I don't think I'm this.
Right, yeah.
I don't identify with this. So that happens.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Can happen
what would you do, Claudia? Like, how do you feel about, like, gendering?
I don't care. Play with whatever you want. And, like, I truly don't. I wouldn't care.
Are we better at that now that, like, we're older?
Yeah.
Like, do you guys feel you're better at that at all? Like, would this be your stance before? Like, when you were younger? Like, do you think you would see it the same way?
Growing up, we didn't see it the same way. No, because we didn't play with like dolls and nothing like that. It was all like sports is mainly like a guy thing. Like the girls didn't really play with the boys, kind of. Like we played, but we didn't play like in that type of way. Kind of. Like they had their dolls and we had our like cars and stuff.
Did you always feel this way about? Like, did you, like, how you feel now, is that what you always felt, or is that something you had to learn?
Something I had to learn.
Something you had to learn? So what made you,
knowledge of, like, just being able to choose what you want to do and rather than being forced to or pushed to do something. Like, you know, having options to what I want to do rather than somebody else just saying like you're not supposed to be playing or doing something like that. Because obviously, if I was doing something like that, obviously my parents probably wouldn't like it so much. If I was younger, they wouldn't like if I was playing with dolls. I'm assuming.
That makes sense.
So like you have that like fear in your mind, like I can't do that.
Yeah.
You don't think they still have that? Do you think your family still has that?
My family, yeah, some of them do. Sure.
Is it a cultural thing too?
It is.
It can be. Mm-hmm. It can be. I think more white people are willing to work with. I think that's why we see so much struggle, right, with certain people in communities, right, where it's like your culture has a lot to do with it, and you struggle with it a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like a traumatic thing for folks to deal with.
You're battling with your identity and then trying to fit in at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're battling with both things. So
yeah,
the culture thing for sure plays a part in it. You know, I don't think, again, you know, we want to knock white people, but no. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, people want to knock white people, but you, in a sense, want to be just like them, right? In the sense that they're more accepting, right? I would say the majority of them would be more accepting. I wouldn't say all of them, but the majority of them.
And more accepting of
whatever you choose to identify as, right?
Whereas if you're in like African American, it's not accepted as much. You're looked down upon as if you're not like straight or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that even the idea, let's say a girl, she wants to, and I think we see this a lot on social media, where let's say that she wants to be a princess and the dad takes that extra step to be a princess with her.
Okay.
I think that in a way that plays a major role on that kid's life. It's kind of like, oh, I'm able to do that with my dad, like, and at the end of the day, at least for like girls, for me, my dad was like my hero, like whatever he did, that was perfect for me. Like he did no wrong in my eyes. So I think that when a dad takes that step, it really shapes on how the child sees things. Whereas if a dad is kind of like, nah, I'm not dressing up, kind of like, what the fuck?
So parents play a huge role in
definitely.
In a kid picking a gender, basically, right?
Well,
Do they not play a huge role in it?
I'm not saying they do, but in the sense of support.
Okay.
Where they're able to see like, okay, my dad was able to do this with me. I know that this is someone I can confide in. So it's kind of like in growing up, that development that you go through, that identity that you try to figure out. A lot of times you don't know whether you can go to your parents or not because you don't know what kind of judgment you're going to receive. And as much as parents say, I will never judge my children, you are going to judge. Because it's not easy for a parent to be like, oh, this is what I thought you were, but now you're this, so now I have to get used to this. And so growing up with that mentality of, my child could turn either way, kind of just being like, I'm not putting a label on my child, because parents do that.
Okay.
Those are the first people that are putting a label on you. That really helps a child being able to develop and understand who they are.
So would a parent be considered not loving if they didn't want a child to do some, like, what if the dad's just like, I'm not gonna dress up like a girl just to appease my daughter?
Right. I wouldn't say
would the dad be a bad person for not?
I wouldn't say he's a bad person. It's just that that's how he is. That's just his idea.
That's his idea. Oh, okay.
Right. He wouldn't. It doesn't mean he's like a horrible dad.
Okay.
Like doesn't make him bad human.
Is not supportive enough, or that's just what he wants? I don't know.
I mean, I'm just saying that if we were to put two, like, let's say two storylines of very different people,
Okay.
and we put, let's say, I don't know, a young little boy who wants to dress up as Elsa, and the dad is like, I'll dress up with you. And then we put a young little boy who wants to dress up as Snow White, and the dad is like, no, that's gay. It's a very different scenario, as in, like, once that child grows up, let's say that they are gay, because maybe they're not, but let's say that they do turn out to be gay and be attracted to men. I'm assuming that most likely the little, that kid who remembered, okay, my dad supported me during this time, is probably going to be a little bit more comfortable opening up to their father or their family in general. Yeah. Whereas the other person is just going to repress those emotions. Okay. Exactly.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Do you feel, how do we identify, right, as, because there's things that we do as people, right, that are still looked down upon. And the reason I'm saying that is, and it plays into this gender role thing and, finding out who you are or whatever, right? I think I've said this on the podcast before, where there's still certain things that are labeled as not, like being too gay, or to a cisgendered straight man or whatever, right? Being too gay, right? Or whatever the case may be. So I'm just wondering, like, where do we fall in that line? Like, how do you, like, for instance, Claudia or Keith, like, how do you guys feel? Like, do you feel like, Keith, you're more on do you have more of a feminine, like, way of thinking or way of being, basically, right? Or do you have more of a male way of thinking, or is it just somewhere in between? Or, Like, how do you like? Because there's certain things people still do, right? That think oh, you're too affectionate. Oh, that's not masculine enough, right? Or you dress like a guy, Claudia. You know, like stuff like that still put on us, right? And so I just wanted to see like where would we like where how do we feel in that, right? Like are we in between or are we more? Because for me personally, like I feel like I still get, no matter how many times I tell people that I'm straight or that I'm this or that I'm that, that I'm comfortable in my skin, blah 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 blah. Like people still like won't accept that, right? Like they won't accept that you're affectionate, right? Like I can be affectionate with a guy. That doesn't mean I'm fucking gay. Like I can be affectionate and be perfectly fine. Like that's just not something that turns me on, right? Like I think that's a feeling, right? Or something that you have to truly feel. So I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of things that people do that are still very looked down upon. Like even for me, like I watch wrestling, right? Like there's a bunch of dudes running around in tights and no shirts.
Oh my God.
Right? And then there's women in that sport. And then everybody thinks that I'm watching the women and I'm just thinking sex, right? Like that's not the case. Like that's not the case at all. Like to me, when I'm watching wrestling, it's a sport. And I'm watching it for the sports strictly. I'm not staring at the wrestler's dick or I'm not staring at their body. You know, I'm looking at what they're doing, not too much on what they look like. Right. And so I think a lot of times I feel like sometimes I struggle with that still because there's still a lot of people out there who don't understand that. I still know a lot of people, right, that do that. It happens to me today, right? Like it's just you do things and then people think that you're that
a certain way.
You know, like I'm not gay, dude. Yeah. Like and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like there's nothing wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But again, it's that like how far have we come really is what I'm I guess trying to say. Like, damn, like I can't even hug a guy
without them thinking something else.
Yeah. Or I can't be next to a guy like this. Like I get close to you guys' faces. I'm like we've fucking slept together in the same bed, right? Like it's not nothing crazy to me.
No, it wasn't
right?
nothing crazy.
Because like to me, it's like
this is my brother. Right?
Yeah, you're just my bro.
And that's the thing, like, which I never understood. I truly never understood. Where I was like, okay, if two women or two best friends are able to have a sleepover, why can two guy friends? Like it's the same thing. It's just that the gender or the like it changes. But it's the same thing to me. You're just sleeping next to someone because you're hanging out and you're choosing to stay the night. That's it.
Yeah. It's more accepted when you're younger. As a guy.
No, I know. But I'm saying like as grown
adult
teenagers or adults, right? Like, and I think even with I wish I could say that some adults have grown out of that, but there are so many adults who never grow out of that. Mm-mm. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know.
It's kind of sad when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that they can't be comfortable in their own skin.
Right? Yeah. Like there's just like I don't know, man. There's like, so many things.
And you can I think that you can tell how to make a man uncomfortable. And I'm not gonna lie, I've done this before where I've made a joke and someone could like one of them could just be like whatever, laughing along with it. The other one gets so serious. Yeah. And it's just like, yo, chill. Like it's
just a joke.
Right. Like the other person is able to get the joke. Why can't you? Like,
shit, I roll around with it.
Right.
Like I roll around. Like that's how comfortable I am. Like that's exactly how comfortable I am. Like I don't give a fuck, man. Like we've gone to fucking trips, guy trips and shit. There was only so many beds, motherfuckers. Like there only was so many couches and futons before two people gonna end up sleeping together. Like that's just the way it is. That though, like I don't know. And there's still like to this day, still people who don't feel that way, right? Who still. So yeah, like what do you guys think? You guys identify more? I think I ride the line barely down the middle for the most part. I'm still a dude. At the end of the day, like I'm still a quote unquote broy, broski, you know, whatever the community decides to identify as me as, right? Like I'm a cool person to hang out with, but at the end of the day, I still have my.
The thing is, that you're a cool heterosexual dude. Like, and no, I'm serious. Like, and I've spoken to my girlfriend about this, and she's like, yeah, like Berto, he's just like cool, you know, like he isn't like a weird heterosexual man. Like he's just how men should be in general, you know, like just hang out with anyone, whether they're gay, straight, whatever it is. Like if you like someone, you like them, and you want to hang out with them, you're gonna hang out with them. Like it's just a friendship. It doesn't mean anything other than that.
Yeah, and I spoke to Jimmers about this. Jimmy, our boy Jimmy, shout out Jimmy. So we spoke about this, right? And I was telling him how like dude, like you're not my gay friend. Right. Like you're not my, like there's no label on you. You're not my gay friend. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously if we come here and you guys never met him, I'm going to tell you he's gay, right? Because you have to know for the sake of the podcast what we need. Right. Like there's still stuff that I have to give you on a background. But in a general consensus, when I'm talking to somebody, I'm not telling you he's gay. Like I'm just telling you that he's Jimmy. Like that's my boy. Like that's all. Like he's just somebody I hang out with. He's not my, and I think too often, and I think what you're saying is where the straight person tries to be the cool, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I got a gay, like kind of like the person who has the black friend, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, exactly. I got a black friend, you know? So I can get away with whatever, you know? Like, like I don't have the gay card. That doesn't mean I just have friends who happen to be gay, but I don't refer to them as my gay friends. Like they're just people.
And the thing is too, that so many women, and I love that you said that, love the idea of having a gay friend. And I'm like, first of all, they're not your accessory. If you want an accessory, get yourself a bag, or a dog, or some glasses. But a gay, like, and it just irks my soul when a girl's like, yeah, I have my gay friend. I'm like, okay, good for you.
Yeah. And then you flip the coin around. Like I still know people who would probably think that I'm a weirdo for hanging out with gay people. Like it's crazy. Like there's still people that I know that would say that.
Would not like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just, yeah. I think people wouldn't like it now. Like I'm in the middle. I'm probably more softer than anything, right?
Yeah. I think you're like,
I'm not.
I think we get along just fine because you're exactly the way I am. I think a lot of people that meet everybody that I bring along, like even you, Claudia, like anybody that's close to me, that people I hang out with all the time, like people come up and they're like, damn, they're just like you. Like it's the same fucking people basically. Like you surround yourself with the same amount of people. Like Keith is not your typical black guy. Keith is not, you know what I'm saying? Like he does it and I don't claim him to be this or that. Like I've never went up to Keith and was like, man, you're more white, dude. Like I've never done that in my entire life. Ever. Like the last thing I see is skin color, whatever. I don't see none of that shit. Like I just see somebody I like talking to and hanging out with. Whatever they decide to be, that's on them. Like that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, like that's not. And I just hate that. You know, I hate it. So I don't know. I think. What about you, Claudia? You didn't answer.
For me, I'm more in the middle. When it comes to guys, just in general, like just men in general, I notice that they don't care. Like guys, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, you know, she doesn't wear makeup. Like I'm not the most feminine. I'm just very neutral. You know, like I don't really wear makeup. My nails, I'm like, nah, if I feel like it. However, with women, which is interesting, you'd think they'd be a little bit more accepting.
They're not?
They will be like, oh, why don't you do your nails? I'm like, I don't have time. You want to do them for me? You want to pay to do my nails? Like, if you pay, I'll go. I have no issue. As long as you pay for it. I just genuinely don't have time. Like, I have other things to focus on. Yeah. Before, I would do my nails on a regular basis. But that's not something that I need to explain to people. Like, if I grow out of something, I grow out of something. And even not that long ago, someone asked, like, oh, you know, if you were to get married to your girlfriend, would you wear a suit? I'm like, why would you think I would wear a suit? She's like, well, you don't really wear makeup. And I'm like, no, baby girl, I'm not wearing a suit. I'm wearing a dress. And I'm going to do my hair. Like,
you're saying yes to the dress.
Exactly. I'm like, when I dress up. Like, I know how to dress. Just because I choose to be like this half of the time, just because I like comfort, that doesn't mean that you can just put a label on me. And, you know, because they love that idea. And I know this happens with like same-sex couples with like who's the more masculine and who's the more feminine. It's like they could just both be feminine or neutral or whatever.
Or whatever. One of each.
But I've got that, and I was just like,
why would they assume someone would wear a suit?
I think that's why my girl gravitates towards you. I think it's because of that, the
The
neutral thing, because she's also in fucking baseball cap and joggers and t-shirt like 90% of the time. But when she dresses up, she can dress up and put a dress on or whatever. But she chooses not to do most of that shit just because she's lazy about it. You know, she doesn't care too much for it. You know, and so it's like, fuck that shit. Even when we went to that restaurant that we didn't talk about, by the way. Yeah, we went to that restaurant. She was like, damn, I don't really like doing that shit. I was like, yeah, no, me neither. But at least we do it once a year, you know, like that type of deal. Because we're just not, that's just not us.
Right.
Realistically, like we're the type to go to the mall and hang out in our jogging pants, and go somewhere. So I don't know. I think society's got a long way to go. We like to say we've evolved. Yeah, with a lot of things, we haven't gone anywhere.
No.
There's a lot of the same. People still think it's more a secret now, if anything, especially stuff about genders and sexuality and all that other stuff. I think that's more like what with racism, how it was so under the like rug for so long, and now it's when Trump became president, it was out there, right? I think that hasn't happened in sexuality and in like gender stuff.
Not yet?
I don't think so. Not yet. No. I don't think it's been out. Because I think everybody still tries to be cool. I think there's a lot of fake people who like to pretend that they're cool with things and they're not. Like, you're not cool with it. And it's cool not to be cool with it.
But you think that they have to put that out there?
No, I think it's going to happen, though. So what I'm saying is, like, it hasn't got there.
No, I'm talking about people openly, not being, like, real. Like, if you don't like somebody, just say you don't like somebody. You think people put out fake messages saying that they support, but they don't?
Yeah. With anything else.
Yeah, that goes with anything.
Even with that, I think that a lot of times it's very easy to support something as long as it's not happening to you.
Yep.
The minute it hits home, it's a whole different story.
Yep.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, now you got a gay cousin or
right, exactly.
Or you got a you know, somebody wants to transgender into something.
Yeah.
You know, like transition into something else.
And now you want to ask 100,000 questions.
Yeah, and now what? Yeah, why? And now you got an issue with it. Like that's what I'm saying. You know, like, and I think that's a lot. I see it a lot, man. I see it a lot, and I think, thanks guys for telling me that I'm the cool guy. I guess I don't know, man. I've asked the question, right? Like I've asked it to people before. Like, do they get that toxic masculinity, quote unquote, from me? And the answer has been probably not. Yeah. Only because I don't carry myself that way.
But we don't get it from like none of our friends.
Yeah, no.
Nothing like that. I don't think.
Maybe.
There's one.
There's one in particular that we get it from.
Am I missing it?
Yeah. There's one who's like a man's man.
Really?
Yeah. I think you can figure it out. Shout out to you. You got to be on here again.
Oh, he's on here before.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I think this is good. I think we can cut out. I felt like the conversation was flowing, so I got off topic of everything we had lined up.
Fine.
I feel like the episode's better when we just flow through things as opposed to cutting it up and chopping it up. This one flowed just better. We were in a zone, so it transitioned nicely.
That's good. So
I left it alone. But before we get out of here, I do want to say that we are on all streaming platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and we are on Anchor for your ass. And we're on YouTube, so go subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, we are your podcast favorite podcast. And we are out. Peace.
Bye.